TV News. Former Whitman Dean Caveat pleads not guilty in court.
And the Department of Public Safety sent out its annual security report.
Plus, possible audio issues with Trump during Monday's debate. Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News. I'm Johnny Oliver.
And I'm Nicole DeMentri here with tonight's top stories.
Former Whitman Dean Kenneth Caveat appeared in court last night. He's been charged with a third-degree misdemeanor for patronizing a prostitute in Salina. Citrus TV News reporter Madeline Urabe was at the hearing.
At his first formal arraignment, Caveat pled not guilty to paying an undercover cop posing as a prostitute for sexual relations. It is more common for those in the public eye to plead guilty to avoid a trial if the police evidence against them is strong enough. Officials say that pleading not guilty could mean that Caveat has some viable defense against his charges. Judge Paul Carey also granted release of the defendant on his recognizance, signifying that there was no bail money paid to the court, no bond was posted, and Caveat was merely released from custody after promising, in writing, to appear in court for all upcoming proceedings. It is hard to say what we can expect at the next court date, but it is possible that his defendant attorney, Louis Mayanera, will challenge the evidence presented, meaning there will be additional hearings or questions related to the evidence asked before the trial officially starts. According to the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department, the former Whitman Dean charged with patronizing a prostitute in the third degree on September 14th. Prosecutors say Caveat could face up to a year in jail or a fine worth up to $1,000. His arrest was one of 8 in a large sting operation conducted by the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office and New York State Police. Johnny?
Thanks, Maddie. Citrus TV News will continue following the story and we'll have more updates for you when Caveat appears in court again on November 17th.
And every 35 minutes, Make-A-Wish grants the wish of a child diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition. Citrus TV's Brittany Mueller tells us about the foundation's impact right here in Central New York.
But when you went in to check the camper out?
When I first walked in, I saw everything, and then when I went back to where we slept, it was bunk beds, double bunk beds.
Bunk beds to share with his twin brother Michael. 9-year-old Nathaniel is a wish kid from Marietta who got his wish granted by the Make-A-Wish Foundation on August 26th while at Green Lake State Park, when he got surprised with a camper of his own.
We just told him we were going tent camping, and he would ask all the questions, well, if it rains, what are we going to do? And I said, don't worry about it, we have it covered.
Nathaniel got diagnosed with a blood disorder that affects his white blood cell count, where it creates tumors on either his organs or bones. And today, his treatments are done and his tumor is almost gone. He now looks forward to any time him and his family gets to sleep in the camper.
Well, tomorrow night we're actually going to sleep in it.
The Central New York chapter of the Make-A-Wish Foundation says they are currently working to grant unique wishes for over 75 kids, just like Nathaniel.
We are really proud that we grant wishes to 100% of the eligible children who are referred to us. What that means is that we don't have to make children wait for wishes. So we would not be able to operate if it weren't for the generosity of this community.
With hundreds of wishes granted, each child is represented and celebrated at the foundation in East Syracuse.
This wall is really the heart of our organization.
There are over 1,600 stars on the wall behind me, just like the one I'm holding. Each represent a child that wishes got granted. Reporting from the Make-A-Wish Foundation in East Syracuse, I'm Brittany Mueller, Citrus TV.
And for more information or how to make a donation to grant more wishes, you can visit cny.wish.org.
Today, a voter registration kickoff event was held in Shine Student Center. The event was put on by the New York Public Interest Research Group and encouraged students to vote based on policy position rather than the candidates themselves. The event also launched the #Because campaign, which encouraged students to vote on their identification.
Officially taken over as the largest voting bloc in America. And that's no small feat. but now we need to make sure that we're all registered and we're all educated on these issues because, you know, the environment, funding for higher education, these are issues that are affecting us directly as students. And as a result, we need to make sure that we are all participating and all educated on the issue.
Syracuse has released its annual security report. In an email sent to students earlier today, the Division of Campus Safety and Emergency Services outlined the results. Students are now able to view SU's policy on drugs and alcohol and a report on safety and security on campus. The report on drugs and alcohol highlights the university's plans for drug and alcohol abuse prevention, while the safety and security report includes information on crime statistics, resident security, and crime prevention measures. The search committee for the Dean of Hendricks Chapel has been announced. The committee will be headed by Interim Dean Sam Clements and Senior Vice President Campbell Jackson. The search is focused on finding a dean who will work on developing religious programs and engaging the community. A report from the committee is expected by mid-October.
And the Oneida County Sheriff's Office lifted a shelter in place around 4 p.m. today. Police issued the emergency alert in the Whitestown-Oriskany area while they searched for a man who threatened to harm himself and ran away from the residence this afternoon. Police say the man was found in a wooded area near Utica Street and taken into custody. And now switching gears, Syracuse University's Department of Drama opens their new show 9 tonight at the Syracuse stage. The Tony-winning show is about Italian film director Guidi Contini. The show follows his struggles to create his new movie and attempts to find inspiration from different women in his life. The show will run until October 8th, and tickets can be purchased at the Syracuse Stage box office.
The Syracuse Festival of Races will take place this Sunday, October 2nd. Registration will begin at 7:30 a.m. and the men's 5K will begin at 8:50. There will also be a women's 5K, a 3K fun run, a community walk, and a brunch. The race will take place at the Lamp Athletic Complex. Amy Schumer is set to perform this weekend at the On Center. Schumer, the star of Trainwreck, and her show Inside Amy Schumer is taking the stage tomorrow night at 8 p.m. There are still tickets available for tomorrow's show, and they can be bought online. The comedian is traveling to Michigan after her stop in Syracuse. And coming up, the investigation continues in the Hoboken train crash.
And a decision in the South Carolina school shooting. We'll be right back.
Cooler temperatures in Syracuse this week. We'll see that the leaves are starting to change, which is exciting. Fall is here. It's been raining off and on all day. We have a slight break in it right now, but more rain is coming our way this weekend. Stay tuned for my full weather forecast coming up.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
The Hoboken train crash that killed one and injured hundreds yesterday is under investigation. Officials are looking into the train's speed as a factor in the crash and hope to speak to the train's engineer. Many witnesses said they didn't feel the brakes being applied before the train approached the station.
The crash caused damage to the station, including the collapse of the roof. Investigators hope to determine if the incident was a system failure or an engineer failure. So far, they have recovered a recording from the train that could have information on the train's speed and braking at the time of the crash.
A 14-year-old South Carolina boy has been charged as a juvenile with murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. Authorities say the boy killed his father and injured 3 people. He shot and killed his father at their home and then illegally drove a pickup truck to a local school.
Now the boy opened fire on the playground, injuring 2 students and a teacher. 1 student remains in critical condition. Witnesses say the boy did not show any emotion as he walked into the courtroom today, and his motive for the attack remains unknown.
A statement released by the Commission on Presidential Debates today confirmed that there were issues with Donald Trump's microphone on Monday's debate. The commission said, quote, regarding the first debate, there were issues regarding Donald Trump's audio that affected the sound level in the debate hall.
Trump complained earlier in the week about issues with his microphone within the room. Clinton said that Trump was just making excuses for having a bad night.
The Oklahoma police officer has pled not guilty. She was charged with first-degree manslaughter in the fatal shooting of a black man. Witnesses say Tulsa officer Betty Shelby did not say anything at her court appearance today.
Shelby's attorney entered the not guilty plea on her behalf. Prosecutors alleged that Shelby acted unreasonably, and investigators say Shelby told them she fears for her life.
Businesses in El Cajon, California reopened yesterday after 2 days of protests. Residents were angry over the recent fatal shooting of a black man. Police say the man pointed a vaping device at them but was unarmed.
For the past 2 days, hundreds of protesters blocked roads, disrupted traffic, and even smashed windows of some cars. 2 protesters were arrested late last night.
California Governor Jim Brown signed a bill yesterday allocating $10 million of new funding for the earthquake early warning system. The funding will double the number of California earthquake sensors to 1,100 in the next 2 years.
Currently, the system sends alerts through TV and radio and is important for notifying mass transit and fire stations. The alert system does not currently notify residents on their cell phones, but state officials are hoping to in the near future.
Shimon Peres was laid to rest today in Jerusalem. The ceremony was attended by thousands of admirers and dozens of international dignitaries. The funeral was Israel's largest gathering of dignitaries since 1995. President Obama, Bill Clinton, and Palestinian President Abbas were among those in attendance.
Obama delivered a heartfelt eulogy highlighting Perez's initiative for peace and the unlikely friendship they shared. Clinton spoke on Perez's humanitarianism efforts and his accomplishments in every major office in Israel. Perez passed away on Wednesday after suffering a stroke at the age of 93.
There will be a rare sight in the sky tonight, but you will most likely not be able to see it. A black moon will be in the western hemisphere, and it's the second new moon in a calendar month.
And now that black moon starts the lunar calendar, and the moon will be impossible to see because it will be surrounded by darkness. The rare black moon only occurs every 32 months and will take place at 8:11 p.m. on the East Coast.
Well, it was a cool and rainy fall day today.
Yeah, you know, I broke out the rain jacket and the umbrella. Let's throw it over to Rebecca to see if that weather is going to continue.
Thanks, Johnny and Nicole. Yes, we did have rain off and on today, but we have a slight break in it right now, but don't get too excited because more showers are going to come in this evening. Right now it is 57 degrees, but the partly cloudy skies are making it feel more like 54 degrees. And as we take a look at our current surface map, we'll see we're being dominated by this low pressure system right now, which is bringing all this moisture up to us in the northeast. And that's why we're going to have quite a bit of rain come in this weekend. If we take a look at our Doppler radar, we'll see that all that rain's coming in right there. So definitely it's going to be a weekend to have your umbrellas, rain jackets, probably going to want to stay inside too. I know a lot of students are heading out for the weekend, so if you're flying out of Syracuse tonight, you can expect some slight travel delays as we are going to have some thunderstorms tonight. Game day is tomorrow, so if you're watching the game here in Syracuse, kickoff time is at noon and you can expect temperatures at 63 degrees. If you're heading over to New Jersey and watching the game in MetLife Stadium, it's going to be 61 degrees and a 50% chance of rain. So the stadium's outside, you're going to want to bring your umbrellas, your rain jackets, but hopefully the orange will give us a win, so the day will be worth it. Sunday, storms are going to continue. Sunday, we can expect highs of 72 degrees with that 80% chance of showers. So that is not a day you want to be outside. Definitely cancel all those outside activities. It's going to be a good day to catch up on some homework, watch some movies. That's the way to go. And as we take a look at our 5-day forecast, we see those showers this weekend with a 60% chance on Saturday, 80% chance of storms on Sunday. Monday, rain is going to continue with a 40% chance of showers and a high of 68 degrees. Tuesday, the rain will clear up. We'll have partly cloudy skies with a high of 70 degrees. And Wednesday, still no rain with a high of 73 degrees and partly cloudy skies.
Okay, so Rebecca, I know it's going to be so rainy this weekend. Sunday, you mentioned thunderstorms. What should we expect Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday, maybe a day that you can go outside if you want to bring your umbrella. We're going to expect light drizzles off and on throughout the day, but it is going to be raining, so I would suggest staying in this weekend.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Well, up next on Citrus TV News, we'll have the big announcement for the halftime performance of the Super Bowl.
And stick with us. We'll be right back.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The Centers for Disease Control has updated its Zika advice. They now recommend that men who have traveled to a Zika active area should wait at least 6 months to have unprotected sex, while women should wait a full 8 weeks. But the World Health Organization has different advice and says that both men and women wait the full 6 months. This is the 5th time that the CDC has changed its Zika guidance. And a large price tag was released for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. $30 billion to be exact is what the panel recently estimated the games would cost, unless cost-cutting measures are taken. This is more than 4 times the estimated cost that was presented in 2013 when Tokyo was awarded the games. The new national stadium for events like track and the opening ceremony is proposed to be $1.5 billion, and additional revenues could cost almost $5 billion. And U.S. safety regulators say Jeep has avoided a recall on their Grand Cherokees. Officials began an investigation of Jeep in June after reports of the vehicles randomly braking. Investigators found after testing of the car that there was no single cause for the unintended braking. No crashes were caused from the incidents, and investigators say the Jeep systems performed just as well or better than systems from other automakers.
A 12-year mission by the European Space Agency has finally been completed. The Rosetta space probe has crash-landed on a distant comet, ending years of breakthrough discoveries through the project. The project included chasing a comet during its orbit around the Sun and placing a spacecraft on the comet to gather information on the comet's behavior and chemical composition. The group leading the mission decided that setting down the orbiter on the comet was the best way to end the project. And the NFL and Pepsi announced yesterday that Lady Gaga will headline the Super Bowl halftime show. She will take the stage at NRG Stadium in Houston on February 5th. Gaga sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl this year and will release a new album on October 21st.
Coming up, we'll get you set for SU's football date with Notre Dame in East Rutherford. Plus, the field hockey and men's soccer take on ranked ACC opponents on the Hill. We'll have results and previews from a whole host of Orange sports on the other side of the break.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Dugan. The SU football team is gearing up for their home game away from home in MetLife Stadium against Notre Dame on Saturday. The Orange is coming off of a win against UConn last week in which the defense, yes, the defense made some big stops late to seal the deal. Quarterback Eric Dungy remained spectacular through the air with 407 yards passing, with more than half of those going to graduate senior Amba Edetawo, who continues to rack up big numbers. The Irish comes into the game having lost a 3-point contest to Duke in South Bend last weekend, but SU head coach Dino Babers isn't fooled by his opponent's surprising 1-3 record.
They're really good, and they're wounded. They got some controversy going on over there. What normally happens in those situations is, just like in the cowboy movies, you circle the wagons and you find out who wants to fight and who doesn't want to fight. So we're going to get an angry mama bear that's been wounded that's going to be fighting and clawing and coming out with all they have, and really wish they wouldn't have done anything and wish they would have won the game last week. So we're going to get their best shot, there's no doubt.
And as usual, you can get your Syracuse post-game fix right here on Orange Television Network. Lauren, Chris, and Drew will be in studio to break down New York's College Classic at 5 p.m. They'll have highlights, analysis, and post-game interviews from MetLife, so be sure to tune in. The 4th-ranked SU field hockey team was in action against the 7th-ranked Louisville Cardinals this afternoon. When the two teams clashed last season, it was the Orange coming out on top 2-1 after a late penalty corner from Rose Wares. Today, Lise Lagerwey downed the Cardinals with a penalty corner of her own. The final score, 2-1 in overtime. I'm sensing a theme with these two teams. Elaine Carey netted the other goal for the Cuse in this one. The Orange will be back in action on Sunday at Bucknell. For the men's soccer team, after a crushing last-minute loss to Notre Dame last week, the road doesn't get any easier. Tonight, the Orange play host to the 4th-ranked Tar Heels of North Carolina. To show just how competitive ACC soccer is, the loss to the Irish dropped the Cuse to 3rd in the ACC Atlantic Division. UNC enters with just one loss on the year as well, dropping a 1-0 game to the Eastern Tennessee State Buccaneers. The Heels lead head-to-head against the Orange 2-1, but the last matchup saw SU advance in penalty kicks into the 2015 ACC semis. Game is slated for 7 o'clock. Women's ice hockey went head-to-head against the University of Montreal Carabins in an exhibition game last weekend. Tonight, they open the 2016-17 campaign with a Friday-Saturday doubleheader against, you guessed it, the Bemidji State Beavers. You gotta love these nicknames. The Orange was selected as the College Hockey America preseason favorites, receiving 5 of the 6 first-place votes. Bemidji State rides in on the momentum of a 22-11-3 record from last season, their winningest in school history. Puck drops at 7 p.m. It's only September and SU women's volleyball is already heading for warmer weather. The Orange will head to the Sunshine State to play a pair of games this weekend. Tonight, it's the 15th ranked Seminoles of Florida State. FSU enters the contest undefeated in conference play and with a 9-2 overall record. On Sunday, SU faces Miami, who enters the weekend with just 6 wins and 8 losses. However, the Orange has never beaten their former Big East and now ACC foe. Both games will start at 7 o'clock. Yes, it's still fall, but it's never too early to talk about SU softball. The squad kicked off its exhibition schedule last weekend with an emphatic 18-0 victory over Onondaga Community College. This Saturday, SU returns to OCC for a doubleheader against Colgate and Albany. The Orange finished the 2016 campaign just 1 game over 500, but still made it to the ACC tournament before falling to Louisville. Games are set for 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And 2 of New York's pro football teams will be without some of their best wideouts this weekend. The Bills have ruled out receiver Sammy Watkins for Sunday's matchup with division rival New England. Head coach Rex Ryan's expressed, quote, major concern about Watkins' foot injury after having surgery on that same foot in the offseason. Also, Eric Decker is expected to miss the New York Jets game against the Seattle Seahawks. Head coach Todd Bowles said that the receiver will be week to week with a partially torn rotator cuff.
And we'll be right back.
Stick with us.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. It's going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Don't think you know. Know you know.
If you see news happening on campus in Syracuse or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom at 315-443-1177 or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Well, Rebecca, there's a big soccer game on the Hill tonight. What can we expect out there?
Yeah, if you're heading out to the game, you're lucky because the rain isn't going to come in until much later tonight, so it should be a dry night, but it is going to be pretty chilly. The temperatures are going to be in the 50s, so definitely bring a jacket if you're going to go out and watch the game.
Thanks, Rebecca. Well, that's all for Citrus TV News this evening.
Check us out online at CitrusTV.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CitrusTV News.
I'm Johnny Oliver.
And I'm Nicole DeMentri. Have a great weekend, Syracuse.